we are living in these very weird times. You open your Instagram account, you don't know what's real, what's not because of misinformation that is being used to portray one reality versus another reality. On top of that, you have AI, so you don't know if the things that are there have been written by a human or by an algorithm. Sometimes we need to destroy systems as we know them in order to create something new that is better. There's going to be a period of pain, but after that, we're going to create a better world. So it's kind of like imagine during birth, you have to go through pain, but then after pain, you meet your baby. Welcome to Blisstopia podcast. I'm your host, Mercedes Castellani, life purpose coach, business owner, and your spiritual guide on all things mindset, manifestation, and purpose. This podcast is a space for deep reflections, meaningful conversations to help you expand your mind, dive into the depths of your soul, and create a life that makes you feel alive. Whether you're walking, driving, or simply vibing, take a deep breath and get ready to dive. Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of Blisstopia podcast. I'm your host, Mercedes Castellani, and today we're going to talk about a topic that I think everybody is thinking about. Because the world as we know it, it's changing. The world is very chaotic right now. There's wars, there's conflict, there's tension increasing, there's AI coming to get most of the jobs. So we are living in a moment that is full of uncertainty. So I decided to do this podcast episode today because when we are in these periods of uncertainty, we need to make sense of what is going on. As human beings, we want to understand why things are happening, what is actually going on. And I think we kind of like refuse to believe that, okay, these things are just happening and this is the world as it is. We want to make sure that we understand what's happening and why it's happening. So I decided to do this episode to give you a map to read reality in the next couple of months and in the next couple of years, especially because I will be going into mat leave. And I do want to give you a key to read reality in the next couple of months. So, as you know, I'm pregnant, very, very pregnant. I'm going to have my baby in 1 month and a half. So, this is one of the last episodes that we're doing on Blisstopia podcast before mat leave. After mat leave, we're going to have more episodes. I'm going to come back and I'm going to have so many things to share with you, especially I think after going through the experience of birth and everything. But I am aware that I'm not going to be on the podcast for 5 months. So during April to August, we're not going to have new episodes. And the world is getting really, really, really weird right now. So I'm like, okay, I cannot leave my people alone. I want to give you guys a key to read reality over the next couple of months. So while there's not going to be new episodes on the podcasts between April and August 2026, and I will be back in September 2026, I do want to give you this key, this map to read reality over these next couple of months. So, as I said, the world is very chaotic. The moment you open your Instagram feed, it's like bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. The moment you watch the news, it's all over the place. And we are living in a moment that feels very strange. And we have conflicts going on everywhere. We still haven't solved the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Then, on top of that, we added the conflict between Israel and Gaza. And then, on top of that, we've just added a new war in the Middle East, of course, with Iran, Dubai, and many other countries that have been impacted in the Middle East due to the attacks that the US started. And as a result of this, I think everybody can feel like there's tension increasing and the air just feels weird. Some people have started speaking about World War III. I think it's quite dangerous that we start speaking about these things, because the moment we start speaking about these things and believing these things, we will collectively manifest those things. So we need to be very careful with the words that we're using. But we do feel that there's an increase in tension and there's an increase in conflicts, and things are just not the way they were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where we were living. And I think as millennials, we were extremely lucky to be born in a context of peace and stability. And we got used to that. And now it seems that times are changing. There's a lot of wars, as I said, that we still haven't solved. There's tension increasing. We have the wave of AI coming. It's here, it's happening. We still haven't seen, there's been some layoffs, but we still haven't seen the major layoffs that will start happening. So we are living in these very weird times. You open your Instagram account, you don't know what's real, what's not, because of misinformation that is being used to portray one reality versus another reality. On top of that, you have AI, so you don't know if the things that are there have been written by a human or by an algorithm. So things are getting pretty wild, pretty hectic. So, my idea today is to really give you, as I said, a map to read reality, because things are shifting and the way we're going to perceive things will help us make sense of what is going on and will help us cope with whatever happens. So, as you know, I'm all about spirituality. I've been into all spiritual modalities for the past 10 years. It's really fun because everything started for me in 2016. So now it's 2020. Oh my God, baby brain. And it's been 10 years that I've been into all of these spiritual modalities and different modalities to really heal myself and support clients in really feeling better. So, one of the things that I've been hearing for years from different psychics and psychic mediums is that we are in a process of raising the consciousness on planet Earth. So, planet Earth, the planet, will enter into a new state. Planet Earth is raising its frequency. Now, some of us are here, arguably, to support that change. And I do see myself and I do see many of my clients as really these light workers that come here on Earth. We have decided to incarnate in this time, wild as it is, crazy as it is, to really contribute to this new Earth. Some people think that as Earth is going to raise its frequency, some people are gonna follow that path. Some people are gonna raise their frequency with the Earth and supporting this new Earth, but some people won't make it. It's kind of like this test that we need to pass as a species, where it's going to be kind of like light versus darkness, high vibrations versus lower vibrations, love and unity versus division, hate, killing each other. So some people are going to pass this test and they're going to be part of this new earth, and some people are just not going to pass the test because their consciousness is not where it should be. So I want to break down this idea of what the new earth means, what is actually going on, what are the steps that this is going to have, what do we actually mean when we say new earth, what is actually this new earth. And I think this will give you a map to make sense of reality and to make sense of these really weird times that we're all going through. So what is a new earth? First of all, new earth is going to be a state of consciousness on the whole planet Earth and the human beings that are going to be on planet Earth. So, in order to reach this new Earth, there's three main steps. The first step is the step that has been going on for the past 10 years, 20 years. We have already started this path, and it is the path of shifting towards a higher consciousness. So, as a collective, humanity is going through this major awakening. There's a collective awakening. More and more people are starting to tap into spirituality, are starting to meditate, are starting to do yoga, are starting to ask these really deep questions. What is my purpose? What did I came here to do? How can I contribute? We were not doing all of these things 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Everybody was pretty much focused on surviving, living their lives. And now, in these past 20, 10 years, we are shifting. We are really growing and learning and getting curious about new topics. So, more people are becoming more aware, more compassionate, less ego driven, and more people are moving towards a higher vibration. So, what is happening is that all those individual vibrations are getting higher and higher, and we have now a bigger number of people that can actually consolidate this new vibration for the planet Earth. So we have now a more important number of people, and we can actually stabilize, consolidate that new vibration, higher vibration. So we have been doing that for the past decades. This is not new. We have been raising the consciousness, collectively raising the consciousness. So that is step number one. Really long term, it's not something that has happened overnight. It has started already. It's been happening for the past decades. We are raising the consciousness of the planet. There's this collective awakening. Now, the second step, and this is the one that is a little bit harder, is a transition period. Is a period that is not going to be easy. It's going to be full of chaos. It's going to be full of destruction, instability. Imagine this Kali energy when sometimes you need to destroy things as you know them in order to create something new. We tend to be quite afraid of Kali if you're into the Hindu gods and goddesses. We tend to be quite afraid of this energy because it's an energy of destruction, chaos, and instability. But sometimes we need to destroy systems as we know them in order to create something new that is better. So what we are seeing now and where we're entering now, 2025 to 2030, is this period of transition. It's a difficult period. It's a period of crisis, chaos, instability. But the good news is from the back of that, we're going to have deep transformation. So there's going to be a period of pain, but after that, we're going to create a better world. So it's kind of like imagine during birth, you have to go through pain, but then after pain, you meet your baby. It's like, it's hard, it's difficult, it's intense, but beautiful things are coming after that. As a humanity, we're going through that process. It's hard, it's difficult, there's going to be crisis, there's going to be loss, there's going to be change. But from the back of that, we're going to create something much better than the things that we have in place today. So, what do we mean by something better? So, the third step is this one. So, we've said the first step was raising the frequency of the earth. We've been doing that for decades. We're in this transition period where things are going to get difficult. And then we're going to create this new earth, a better world. And what is this third stage? So it's not a new place. We're going to still be here, still on planet Earth, but our state is going to be completely different. Our awareness, our consciousness, it's going to be completely different. And therefore, that's going to be an individual level, but also as a collective, we're going to be shifting financial institutions. We're going to be shifting the way we work. We're going to be shifting the way we distribute wealth. We're going to be shifting our relationship with one another. Up until now, everybody has been doing their own things. Everybody has been quite selfish in a sense. We're going to start thinking more in a cooperative way. We're going to be collaborating a lot more. So there is going to be a shift in our consciousness at an individual level, but also there's going to be things shifting for good at a collective level. So I have been talking, whether that's personally or professionally, with different psychics to really get an insight onto what is actually going on, where are we actually heading, what's actually going to happen. So there seems to be some consensus around the following. First, we're going to go through a lot of global changes. And these changes, as I said, in this transition period, in stage number 2, won't always be positive. Actually, they will actually be quite hard. So there's going to be political stability, even conflict. There's going to be economic shifts. There's going to be extreme weather or environmental disruption, maybe some health crises. We've already had COVID. Maybe we're going to get something else. So all of these things will be happening from an economic point of view, from political point of view, from an environmental point of view, from a health point of view. There's going to be a lot of change. Now, some psychics see this as a cleaning of sorts. It's kind of like, okay, we need to be cleansing the people, the structures that are not aligned with this new earth. So, yes, it's hard. Yes, there's going to be suffering, there's going to be devastation. But from the back of that, remember, we're creating something much better. Now, technology is going to play a major role in all of this. So, artificial intelligence, of course, it's going to reshape society. We will live more and more in a world where understanding what is real and what is not will become really hard. So, we're going to have deep fakes, we're going to have misinformation, because nowadays, frankly, with AI, we don't know what is real and what is not real anymore. You can see a video and it might look actually quite real, but it's actually all AI fake stuff. Or you read a text and you don't know if that was created by a human or AI or a mix of both. So it's going to become very blurry what what is real and what is not real. And then of course there's going to be also blurriness in terms of boundaries between human and machines. What is the role of humans? What is the role of machines and algorithms? So, technology is part of this deep, deep transformation. Now, when you talk to some people, tend to see, you talk to psychics, they tend to see AI and technology as a danger to consciousness. But some other people tend to see AI as a tool that will accelerate evolution. So, if you're interested in this, on episode 172, I talked to Jorge Cohen. He has several AI businesses and he stands for this second truth. He sees AI as a tool for spiritual awakening on planet Earth. So, if this is something that you want to hear more about, we go super, super deep into AI on episode 107. More positive point of view, where he thinks that AI is going to help humans evolve spiritually if we use AI with a certain intention, with a beautiful intention. So, we're going to experience lots of changes: political, economical, environmental, also in terms of health. Technology is going to play a major role in these turning points that we are experiencing as a race, as the human race. And then we're going to see a shift into more interest and care for sustainability and cooperation. So, yes, some parts of it are going to be hard, like the political, economical point of view. Technology depends how we're going to use it. It's going to be either a good thing or a bad thing. But then the positive side of things is that we are going to have more and more breakthroughs on renewable energy. We're going to have greater environmental awareness to understand how can we take care of planet Earth? How can we take care of our home actually? And we are going to start seeing more and more local movements for change. So people are going to get quite fed up with all of the globalization and all of the technological side of things and AI and not talking to human beings. And we're going to go back to local communities and talking to another human being in flesh and bones with emotions and empathy. So we're going to start shifting back into the things that we had, the way that we lived 50 years ago. So, all of these things, the political, economical, environmental shifts, the technological shifts that we're living, and also the big shift towards sustainability is all part of this transition period that we are experiencing right now. So, what is going to happen? What's on the other side of these things? So, I want you to remember, as we are currently standing today, March 2026, we are in that transition period. So we are on that stage two. We have been shifting consciousness, we have been raising consciousness, and now we're in that transition period. That's the bit that it's going to be tricky. So we are in the middle of the tricky bit. We're in the middle of the bit that it's going to hurt. We're in the middle of the bit that is going to force us to rethink our lives, our careers, to rethink structures. We are in the middle of that right now, this year, 2026, 27, all the way to 2030. We're going to be experiencing all of these changes. When you look into the world and you see conflict here, conflict there, AI, layoffs, all of this, I want you to remember this is part of something bigger, and we're going to create something much better after this. But it is important that we keep this in mind and that we don't linger too much into the suffering bit and the devastation bits. Yes, it's happening. Yes, it's hard. But what are we going to create from the back of this? What's happening after this? We need to let go of the things that are not working. And I recently heard someone talk about Trump and his role on planet Earth and his soul contract. And basically, what this person was saying is that Trump came here with a soul contract to destroy, to destroy things as we know them today, destroy some countries, destroy what is real and what is not, destroy historical alliances with other countries, such as Europe, for example, destroy structures. What is democracy? What is justice? With all of these things that we've seen with Epstein files, and it's obvious what is going on, and there's still no justice. So this really shows, it's really putting in our face all of the things that are not working. And sometimes we need to take a good look, and this applies to our lives individually, but also collectively. We need to take a look into what's not working. Sometimes we need to suffer a little bit, but then from the back of that, we're going to change into something better. So I think collectively, we're going through that period where shit is coming to the surface. We are realizing that the way economy has worked up until now, it's not working. The way politics have been working up until now, it's not working. The way justice has been working up until now, it's not working. The way we're treating the environment is just not working. The leadership that we have from these, 70, 60-year old guys, men that don't really know how to take care of their countries, their people, how to collaborate, and they're just trying to prove who is the strongest one and who has the bigger whatever. Used to be cars and and dicks. Now it's basically who has the bigger nuclear power, and I'm gonna hurt you because I have the biggest one. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys, just chill. Just chill. I wish your parents would have given you a little bit more attention when you were children. You would not be doing this. I wish you would all be meditating. We would not be going through all of this. So, all of these systems that do not work, that have not been working for so long, are being exposed, and they're going to be destroyed so that we can create something better. Now, what are we going to be creating? What's on the other side of all of this destruction, suffering, devastation? So, what we're going to be creating is the new earth. The new earth means basically that we're going to be shifting to something that it's called the 50 earth. So, the fifth density existence. And in order to really explain what is this new earth, and it's like, I know it's going to sound a little bit maybe woo woo, but we all know that we love all of these things over here on Blisstopia podcast. But in order to explain what this is, let me explain the world in 3D, which is the world in which we have been living up until now, what is going to happen in 4D, so transition period, and what is actually 5D, so the new earth, what's coming on the other side of that. So in 3D, people are 3D is, as I said, the world as we've known it, as we've known up until now. So in 3D, people are egocentric, self serving. They're thinking about themselves. Their actions are based on fear. There's a lot of lack. We don't think that there's enough for everybody. So we're fighting for resources. There's competition because we don't believe that there's enough for everybody, so we're competing. There's lack of compassion. We feel like we're divided, so we're judging others. We're judging ourselves as well, and we're judging others. We over identify with our physical body. What does this mean? We think we are this body, where in reality, we're much, much more than that. So we're identified with our bodies. We think that our bodies, our little lives, our little jobs, our little needs are everything that there is. But the truth is that there is so much more than that. As I said, we live in a world, we have lived in a world of perceived scarcity. We don't trust each other. We are usually in fight or flight. It's very materialistic. We need security to make sure that our needs are met. We're controlling everything and we are reactive. So in this world, imagine those people, and I'm sure you know these people. It could be some of your colleagues, it could be someone in your family. It's these people that really they live their lives, right? They're working, they have their needs met. If they had children, they take care of their children, but they just don't ask deep questions. They're just living their lives and they're maybe happy, quite content, but they're not really asking deep questions. They're just very grounded. They live quite simple lives. The truth is that they are, as I said, they're only thinking about the 3D, the material things. They're only thinking about themselves and their little families and their little jobs and their little worlds. They're not asking these deep questions. What is going on with the world? Where are we heading? How can we contribute to something bigger? In 3D, you're just living your own little life, making sure that your needs are met and you're competing with one another for resources because you feel like there's lack. Now, as we move into 4D, so that transition period, we start raising our consciousness. So in 4D, we start experiencing spiritual awakenings. Our consciousness gets expanded. We start getting rid of all negative emotions and belief systems. We realize that we're actually much more than just a body. We actually have soul, and there's a lot more to experience and to feel. And maybe our body might stop one day, but our souls will still be there. We start tapping into higher consciousness. We can start having much more intuition, much more telepathy. We can have out of body experiences. The veil it's getting thinner and thinner. We start perceiving new things and we realize that something is changing in the world, which is, I think, how we feel right now. And then on the other side of that, so in 5D, in the new earth, so this is where we are heading after all of this change that has been happening up until now, this transition period where we are right now, and then this final stage, which is where we're heading. What is going to happen at the level of the consciousness is that we're going to be a lot more focused on other people, a lot more focused on love, on unconditional love, unity. We're going to experience ongoing gratitude. We're going to be self-realized. We're going to be fearless. We'll stop believing in limits. We will have a less dense body, so our energies are going to be higher. The vibration that we're going to emit from our bodies is going to be higher. We're going to be thinking that we're all part of the same thing. We're going to be recognized that we are individually just an expression of something much bigger. We're going to manifest so much way easier because our energy is higher, and because we believe that now we're all about energy and vibration. It's going to be a lot easier to manifest. We're going to go with the flow more. We're going to dilute the duality, so meaning that we're going to realize that light and darkness, it's actually not two things, but it's the same thing in a spectrum. So we're going to start perceiving reality slightly different. We will realize that the only time is now. We won't care about the past. We won't care about the future. We will live in the now, and we will realize that we don't need possessions or status to prove our worth, to prove who we are. We're just gonna. So that's where we're heading. We're heading into a place of love, service, unity, into a place of presence, pure presence, into a place of gratitude. And this is the ascension that the earth is going through. So we're going from the 3D to the 5D. The planet Earth, the planet itself, the rock where we're standing currently, is doing this shift. Now, some souls are already in this ascension path. Some souls are already tapping into this 5D existence and way of living. And some other souls are still very much anchored in the 3D. And there's literally, for some souls, there's hope that they will transition into 5D. For some souls, imagine Trump, there's zero hope that they're going to transition into this new world. So the people that are on 3D and they cannot change their consciousness, one way or another, they're going to be eliminated by Earth itself. And the people who are on this path of changing their consciousness, they're going to be the ones that are going to be part of this new Earth, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be creating the future of humanity with new institutions, new structures, new ways of working, much more care for the environment, much more collaboration. So that's where we're heading. We're heading to a world that it's actually going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful. People are going to feel fantastic. We're going to see a lot of change. But right now, we're in the middle of that transition, and we are letting go of the things and the systems and the structures that we've had up until now that were a reflection of a 3D consciousness. And the moment we're going to be on the other side, on the 5D consciousness, we're going to have new structures in place. We're going to have new institutions in place. We're going to behave in a very different way because it's going to be a reflection of this new consciousness that we're going to have. So that's actually where we are heading, guys. And I know that this transition period is not easy and it's not going to get any easier. But on the other side of that, we're going to build something beautiful. And the other day, I was actually taking a shower. And as you know, when we take a shower, we get like the best ideas because we're very relaxed. And I got a download. And the download is that actually this new earth that we are creating is what I called 4 years ago Blisstopia. I was really thinking about this, this earth as we know it today and this new earth. And I was really in my mind thinking about all of these things. And then I got this light bulb moment and I thought, Blisstopia is the new earth. And back in 2022, when I was walking around Barcelona and I received this download for Blisstopia with the name and the brand, what we were going to do, how we were going to serve the world, what actually was Blisstopia, and all of these things. I think I just received this download. I received this information and I decided to do something with that information and create the business that I have today. And then over these past couple of weeks, when I was thinking about New Earth and all of this, I was like, I received this new download. This is not me inventing stuff. This is information that I'm literally getting, luckily, and that I want to share with you. And I received this information saying Blisstopia is the new Earth. What this concept that I was trying to put into words back in 2022 is the new Earth. I'm going to leave you guys with something that I wrote back in 2022 when the idea of Blisstopia came to me. And as we go through this transition period, please, let's remain positive. Please, let's remain a force for good. Please, let's remain a force for light. Please let's be on the right side of history, creating this new Earth. So I'm going to read something that I wrote back in 2022 when this idea of Blisstopia came to me. And I want to close this episode with these words because I think this is where we are heading. And maybe it's going to take a couple of years, but this is where we're heading. So here's what I wrote back in 2022. I have a dream of a world in which every human being is glowing in their full potential, in alignment with their true nature, untamed, raw, well-intentioned, and purposeful energy emanated from within out into the world. A vital vibration elevated at such a high frequency that it has the power to change the world. Between utopia, the perfect place that will never exist, and dystopia, the place in which we will end up if we don't change fast enough, we find Blisstopia. In Blisstopia, we heal, we grow, we collaborate, we expand, we redefine, we challenge, we rewrite, we love, we cry, we express, we transcend, we elevate, and thus we transform the reality around us. In Blisstopia, all races, all genders, all religions, all nationalities, and yes, all species are adored for the unique talents they bring to the world. In Blisstopia, we trust. This is something that I wrote back in 2022. I don't think I knew what I was writing, but I think considering where we are heading as a humanity, I think what I was describing was this new Earth. And it's going to be this place where our own inner world is going to be vibrating at such a high frequency that we're going to change the external world. We're going to be living in unity. We're going to be collaborating. We're going to be rewriting the stories that need to be rewritten. And we're going to be transforming the reality around us. So I'm going to close this episode with these words that I've used to close every episode since the beginning of the podcast. And it says, even in hard moments, even in this period of transition, even in moments of war, moments of devastation, moments of layoffs, moments of change, moments of destruction, even in those moments, in Blisstopia we trust. See you next time.